Okay, so we're going to have a look at the new swimmers who've just come up doing butterfly, because I saw the same thing effectively happening in all three, or very similar things happening in four, of the people who came up. We're first looking at Dylan, and you'll see that that position in the water is very much upright, and the kick isn't kicking his head out, so it's slightly off on there. He's diving deeply into the water. This sets up this curved motion where you're going very deep and very high. But more than that, these arms are very wide. They then start coming in, and you can see as they come in, they're actually pointing down in the water, and that is completely pointing down. He starts to drive back from that position. So instead of catching the water out here, he's actually catching the water there, and his stroke is from there to there. That's the extent of his stroke, is from there to there. And the second kick's happening in about the right place, but everything's far too angled upwards, so we're not flat, we're angled upwards. Let's go on, oops, wrong way. You can see that position in the water is pushing down, then comes to that position when he's finally pushing back against the water. The legs here are far too bent because he's having to kick himself right out the water, and that doesn't help. So we've got that is the extent of his push from there effectively to there, and that's his total stroke. You can see that going up and down. Now here's Ben. Ben's got a wide stroke. Again, he's come very deep with his head, and you can see this curve going on. It's much better if we can get him flatter in the water. Again, he goes wide, and his stroke is starting from there, going through underneath the body and out and up. You can see his bum goes down at that point, but the kick isn't happening at the same time. Effectively, the kick should happen as he's just about to raise his arms out the water. So you can see that kick is a sort of U shape in the water, and any U shape in the water has to be negative in terms of butterfly. You can see that down, up, and we lost that kick. Now here comes Joe, and Joe has a very similar problem again. He's going quite deep in the water with his head, then splits his arms, and now he's got to push himself up. And that's exactly what happens, he pushes himself up. So as he comes next to us, you'll see, you can see the arms now are actually pushing downwards as opposed to pushing forward, which is the direction we want to go. So he has to kick himself out the water with these legs, but that's kicking himself upwards, and what we want is a forward movement, not an upward movement. So if we take that frame by frame, that is where he's effectively fully caught the water. And so his stroke is from here to here instead of being from here to there, and he should be much flatter. I'll just roll this forward. Alright, we're now coming to Jodie, and Jodie's got a very similar thing going on. You can see there the arms are pointing downwards, and they're pointing downwards to push herself up. Again, we've got this massive kick coming in, but the kick is happening to push the body up. You can see how deep that is, and she's pushing the body up out the water, and that's coming deep, going up, and you can see those arms are now pushing down to push Jodie's body out the water, and that kick also helps push the body out the water. So we've got to work very much on the breathing technique of all these young swimmers so that we grab the water out there with high elbows. The elbows should be high and down, and we don't have to have this massive kick. See, these knees bent like that is just creating a break for the water. So that's what we've got to do. So we'll just show you all those one more time so you can see them as they go in terms of speed. See, there's much too much undulation in all these swimmers, and we've not got forward propulsion, we've got upwards and downward propulsion. That's quite often the case with weaker swimmers, but that's something we're going to work on in the next few weeks.